Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're exploring a chapter from this medical textbook
Oh, cool.
called The New Science of Aging.
Okay.
Now, we all know that thanks to medical advancements, people are living longer than ever. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Longer doesn't always mean better.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The real question is, how can we make those extra years good years? And
Yeah.
what role does movement play in all of this?
That's a fantastic question. And the chapter tackles it head on. For a long time, we thought of aging as this straight line, a steady decline.
Yeah.
But this research paints a different picture. It suggests that aging isn't a one-way street, but more like a winding path, influenced by the choices we make along the way.
Okay, I like that analogy. So instead of just accepting the aging process passively, we can actually take control and influence it.
Exactly. And one of the most powerful levers we have is mobility. This chapter really hammers home the point that staying active isn't just about looking good or feeling fit. It's about influencing how our bodies function at a fundamental level.
So it's not just about vanity, it's about vitality.
Precisely. It affects everything from our cells to our risk of chronic diseases. Think of it this way. Imagine our bodies are like finely tuned machines. If you leave a machine sitting idle for too long,
Yeah.
what happens? It starts to rust, parts seize up, and it doesn't run as smoothly. Right?
Yeah.
Our bodies are the same way.
Makes sense. So if we want to keep our bodies running smoothly into our later years, we need to keep them moving. But what about genetics? Don't our genes play a role in how we age?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the exciting part. Your DNA is not your destiny. The chapter dives into some groundbreaking research on telomeres, which are like these protective caps on our chromosomes. The length these telomeres directly impacts how quickly we age. Shorter telomeres, faster aging. But the research shows that our lifestyle choices can actually influence telomere length.
So it's not just about the genes we inherit, it's about the choices we make every day. That's
Yeah.
empowering.
Exactly. A study published in The Lancet showed that prostate cancer patients who adopted a healthy lifestyle, including a plant-based diet, regular exercise, and stress management, actually lengthened their telomeres by 10%. Just imagine the potential.
Wow, that's really significant. You mentioned a healthy lifestyle, and that brings to mind another big topic the chapter addresses, inflammation. Now, I'm no doctor, but I know that inflammation is usually a sign that something's wrong, like an injury or an infection. What does inflammation have to do with aging?
That's a great question. And it's an area where our understanding of aging has really evolved. While acute inflammation is a normal part of healing, it's the chronic inflammation, the kind that simmers below the surface over time. That's the real culprit.
So it's like a slow burn that damages our bodies over time.
Exactly. And you know what's really interesting?
What?
A sedentary lifestyle where you're not moving enough can actually contribute to this chronic inflammation. It's almost as if inactivity is mimicking the damaging effects of diseases like arthritis, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's at a cellular level.
That's a pretty scary thought. It makes you want to get up and move right now just to shake off that inflammation.
I know, right? It really highlights how crucial movement is for healthy aging.
Yeah.
But beyond just warding off inflammation, the chapter also dives into some fascinating research on how mobility impacts our performance as we age. Take senior Olympians, for example. These are elite athletes who continue competing at a high level well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. And while, yes, they do experience some age-related decline, the chapter includes this fascinating chart showing that the rate of decline is significantly slower in those who maintain a high level of mobility.
So they're still experiencing age-related changes,
Yeah.
but they're happening at a much slower pace. It's like they're hitting the brakes on the aging process.
Exactly. For example, the chart shows that runners between 75 and 85 years old were still maintaining close to 92% of their peak performance. That's remarkable. And it's not just about running speed either. The chapter also highlights the impact of movement on bone density. You know, we often think of bone loss as an inevitable part of aging, especially for women.
Right. And it's a big deal because it can lead to frailty and fractures, which can really impact quality of life.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Studies have shown that people who participate in what they call chronic impact sports, activities that involve a lot of running and jumping, actually have better bone density than their less active peers.
So all those years I spent jumping rope as a kid weren't just fun and games. They were actually building strong bones. I wish someone had told me that back then.
Well, you know what they say, better late than never. And the benefits of staying active go far beyond just physical health. This is where the research on master athletes gets really interesting.
Okay. Remind me, who are master athletes again?
Master athletes are basically highly active, older adults who often compete in athletic events. And the research shows that they don't just have strong bodies. They also have sharp minds. They tend to maintain better cognitive function and experience less age-related mental decline compared to their less active counterparts.
So it's not just about being physically fit, it's about staying mentally sharp as well. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yes. And the reason for this connection is that exercise and movement directly impact brain health. They increase blood flow to the brain and even stimulate the growth of new brain cells. It's like giving your brain a workout, just like you would any other muscle in your body.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. So we're seeing all these benefits of mobility, less inflammation, better physical performance, sharper minds. But what's the science behind it? What's happening at a cellular level that makes movement so impactful?
That's a great question. And the chapter does offer some clues. It introduces this fascinating concept called klotho, which has been nicknamed the longevity protein.
Longevity protein. Now that's something I want to hear more about.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And what makes klotho so intriguing is that it's not just linked to lifespan. It's also associated with lean muscle mass, heart health, and even cognitive function. All the things we've been talking about. And guess what? Research has shown that master athletes have higher levels of klotho than even younger sedentary individuals.
Wow, so it's like staying active keeps this fountain of youth protein flowing.
It certainly seems that way. And some researchers believe that klotho might actually be one of the mechanisms behind those telomere changes we talked about earlier. Remember how lifestyle choices can impact telomere length?
Yeah.
Well, klotho might be the link between staying active and maintaining those protective caps on our chromosomes.
So it's all connected. The movement, the klotho, the telomere, it's like this intricate dance happening inside our bodies. And staying active is the key to keeping the music playing.
That's a great way to put it. And that's really the essence of this new science of aging. It's not just about extending lifespan, it's about extending health span. It's about understanding that aging is a dynamic process we can influence through our choices.
This is all pretty mind-blowing. So if someone is listening to this and thinking, okay, I'm convinced I need to get moving, what advice would you give them? Where should they start?
The great thing is that it doesn't take a huge overhaul to start reaping the benefits of movement. The chapter emphasizes that even small changes can make a big difference.
So we don't all need to become marathon runners overnight.
Definitely not. It's about finding activities you enjoy and incorporating them into your daily routine. It could be as simple as taking a brisk walk during your lunch break, dancing to your favorite music, or even just taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
I love those ideas. They're all things we can easily fit into our lives, even if we're busy. And who knows, maybe once we start experiencing those positive effects, we'll be inspired to do even more.
Exactly. And the chapter also talks about how medical professionals can play a key role in this new science of aging. They use the phrase masterful care of the aging athlete to describe how doctors and other healthcare providers can help people modify their aging process through lifestyle changes. It's about moving away from a reactive approach to health, where we're just addressing problems as they arise, and toward a more proactive preventative approach that focuses on maintaining well-being throughout the lifespan.
That's a powerful shift. It's like we're all in this together. Doctors, patients, researchers, all working to crack the code of healthy aging.
Exactly. And the more we learn about the science of aging, the more empowered we are to make choices that support our health and well-being for years to come.
It really is empowering to think that we have more control over our aging journey than we might realize.
Absolutely. And this chapter drives home the point that it's never too late to make positive changes.
Exactly. So to wrap up our deep dive into the new science of aging, I think the biggest takeaway is that we have more agency than we think when it comes to how we age.
I completely agree. We don't have to just passively accept aging as this inevitable decline. By understanding the science and embracing the power of movement, we can truly write our own aging stories.
Well said. And to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question, let's go back to those telomeres, those protective caps on our chromosomes that play a role in how quickly we age. Knowing that your lifestyle choices can directly impact your telomere length, what's one small change you're inspired to make today to invest in your future self?
Oh, that's a fantastic question to ponder. It doesn't have to be anything drastic. It could be as simple as taking a 15-minute walk after dinner, signing up for a dance class, or even just committing to taking the stairs instead of the elevator every day. The key is to start incorporating more movement into your life in ways that you enjoy.
I love that. Small changes can lead to big results, especially when it comes to healthy aging. Thanks for joining us for this fascinating deep dive into the new science of aging. Until next time, stay curious, stay active, and keep exploring.